Hi, fifth graders. It's Mr. Pham again, and today we're going to look at SB pages 15 through 16. Let's get into this. For numbers 1a through 1c, select yes or no to indicate whether each statement is correct. The first statement says 16 and 437 thousandths rounded to the nearest whole number is 16. Okay, we need to confirm whether this statement is true or not. We have the word rounded. Let's remember the rules to rounding. When the number is 4 or less, we will let the rounded number rest. Let the rounded number rest. And when we have 5 or more, we need to add one more to the rounded number. Okay, so 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, add one more. All right, so let's take a look at this closely. Get my pen here. We have 16 and 437 thousandths rounded to the nearest whole number, which is a 6. That's our rounded number. Our 4/10ths will be our neighbor. And again, when it's 4 or less, we're going to let the rounded number rest. We're going to let the 6 rest here. Everything from the left remains the same. Everything to right becomes 0, which makes this statement a true statement. So let's indicate yes here. The next statement says 16 and 437 thousandths rounded to the nearest tenth place, which is a 4, is going to be 16.4. Let's take a look and see whether or not this is a true statement. Looking at my neighbor, the neighbor is going to be a baby since it's 4 or less. So we are going to let the numbers on the left side of the neighbor rest. So it gives me 16.4, which confirms that this statement is true. So let's mark yes there. And in the final statement, we have 16 and 437,000 rounded to the nearest hundredths place is going to give us 16 and 43 hundredths. Let's look at the hundredths place. It's a 3. The neighbor is a 7. When it's 5 or more, I should add one more to my rounded number, which would give me 16 and 4400, which makes this a false statement. So let's go ahead and mark no there. Moving on. Number 2, Raphael bought 2 and 1,500 pounds of potato salad and 4 and 2 pounds of macaroni salad to a picnic. For numbers 2a through 2c, select yes or no to indicate whether each statement is true. The first statement says, rounded to the nearest whole numbers, Raphael bought 2 pounds of potato salad. Here we're talking about potato salad, so let's go ahead and work with our 2 and 1,500, since that's the amount of potato salad Raphael brought in. And we are going to round to the nearest whole number, which is a 2. Underline the neighbor. Neighbor is a baby. We're going to leave it as 2. This makes the statement true. Looking at the next one, rounded to the nearest whole number. Again, we're looking at the whole number. Raphael bought 4 pounds of macaroni salad. Let's test out that 4.2 macaroni salad. Circle your whole number. The neighbor is a baby. We are going to let the rounded number rest again, which is a yes here. And the last one, we have rounded to the nearest tenths. Raphael bought 2.1 pounds of potato salad. Going back to the potato salad, we start with 2.15. Circle your tenths place, which is a 1. Underline your neighbor, which is 100. 5 or more, add one more, which is going to give me 2 and 2/10, making the statement false. So let's indicate a no here. Moving on to number 3, Michelle records a value of €1 in US dollars each day for her social studies project. The table shows the data she has recorded so far. On Monday, she has 1.448, Tuesday 1.443, Wednesday 1.452, Thursday 1.458. On which 2 days, so here, because the statement is asking about 2 days, there should be 2 answers. On which 2 days was a value of €1 the same when rounded to the nearest hundredth of the dollar. So we are looking for 2 days, excuse me, not two answers. So 2 days will fall as our answer to this question. So we do need to round some of these numbers. So let's take 1 and 448 thousandths, and we are going to round to the nearest hundredths place, and it's the second 4 there. The 8 is a bully, which means I have to add 1 to my rounded number, which is going to give me 1 and 45 hundredths. Let's look at Tuesday. 1 and 443 thousandths. Circle my hundredths place. I have a baby as a neighbor, so I'm going to let the number rest, which is going to give me 1 and 4400. For Wednesday, I have 1 and 45. 1 and 452 thousandths. Excuse me, rounded to the nearest hundredths place. Circle the 5. Underline the neighbor. The neighbor is a baby, so this number will rest at 1.45. And last, on Thursday, we have 1.458. Circle your hundredths place. Look at the neighbor. 5 or more. Add 1 more to the rounded number. I'm adding 1 to my 5, which is going to give me 1.46. Now, which 2 days do we have that after rounding they are the same? That would be our Monday and our Wednesday. So the answer here would be Monday and Wednesday. Okay, there you have it. Let's move on to the next page. All right, page SB16. The price of a certain brand of cereal at the grocery store is 0.258 thousandths per pound, cents per pound. For numbers 4A through 4C, select yes or no to indicate whether each statement is correct. So these questions are very similar to what we did earlier for the first 2 sets of problems. Rounded to the nearest whole number, the price is $1 per ounce. Now let's write the price. We have 0.258, and our nearest whole number would be the 0. Look at the 2. 2 is a baby. We're going to let that 0 rest, which does not equal to $1 per ounce. So we're going to say no here. Next statement, rounded to the nearest tenths. The price is going to be about 30 cents or 3/10 of a cents per ounce. So let's go ahead and rewrite the number. We have 0.258. Circle your 2. That is in the tenths place. Underline your neighbor. We have a 5 here. When it's 5 or more, we must add 1 more. So once I add 1 to the 2, that is going to give me 3/10 of $1. So that is a yes here. And the last one we have rounded to the nearest hundredth. The price is going to be 0.26 or 26 cents. So let's go ahead and write 0.258 again. And this time we need to circle the hundredths place, which is a 5. Underline the neighbor. The 8 is going to be a bully. 5 or more. Add 1 more. Remember that we have here is going to be 0.26, which matches the last statement. So this will be a yes. Moving on to number 5. For numbers 5A through 5C, select yes or no to indicate whether each statement is true. We have 1 and 682 thousandths inches rounded to the nearest whole number is going to be 1 inch. Let's take a look here. 1 and 682 thousandths rounded to the nearest whole number is going to be 1. 5 or more, add 1 more. The 6 is a bully, so we need to add 1 here. 1 plus 1 is going to give me 2. Making this a false statement. Let's indicate no here. Jumping on to the next one, we have 1 and 682 thousandths rounded to the nearest tenth is going to be 1.6. The 6 is in the tens place. Underline the hundreds, the neighbor, and 8 is going to be a bully. 5 or more, add 1 more, and it's going to give me 1.7 after rounding it, making the second statement also a false one. So let's indicate no there, and let's look at the last one. We have 1.682 again. This time we are going to round to the nearest hundreds place. Circle the 8, that's in the hundreds place. Underline the 2, the thousands place. The 2 is a baby. When it's 4 or less, we refer to as a baby. 4 or less, let it rest. The rounded number rests. So I will have 1.68, which matches well with the statement, making that statement true. All right, let's move on to our very last question for the day. Trudy is going to London next summer. Each week, she records the value of 1 British pound in US dollars. The table shows the data she has recorded so far. This is very similar to number 3 from the previous page, for which 2 weeks, we're looking at the weeks here now, for which 2 weeks was the value of 1 British pound the same when rounded to the nearest hundredth of the dollar. Okay, so we want to know, after rounding in the hundreds place, which 2 weeks do we have the same amount of money value, dollar value? So let's look at week 1. We have 1.598, and again, we circle our hundreds place. We have tens, hundreds, then thousands, so we are going to circle our 9, and the 8 is going to be 5 or more, which we refer to as a bully. 5 or more, add 1 more, 8's a bully. Let's add 1 to our rounded number. So here's going to be a little tricky because we have 1 here, but when you add 9 plus 1, we get 10, so we have to regroup up here, which gives me 1.60 for week 1. Looking at week 2, we have 1.616. Again, circle your hundreds place, underline the neighbor. 5 or more, add 1 more. 6 a bully, so we need to add 1 here, which gives me 1.62. And let's look at week 3 here. We have 1.634. Circle your hundreds place, underline the neighbor. 4 or less, let it rest. This is going to rest, and we'll round to 1.63. And the last one, week 4, we have 1.623 rounded to the hundreds place. Let's look over here. So that is going to be another baby, 4 or less, let it rest. That's going to give me 1.62. So I have week 1, after rounding the hundreds place, 1.60. Week 2, 1.62. Week 3, 1.63. And week 4, 1.62. The 2 weeks that have the same when rounded to the nearest hundredth of a dollar would be my week 2 and my week 4. So let's indicate that in our answer box. We have weeks 2 and 4. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.